Number 10. Colombia stuns you before it ever explains itself. Lush, cinematic landscapes stretch across jungles, coastlines, and mountains, each more breathtaking than the last. But beauty here has always walked beside danger. Cartagena gleams with colonial architecture, yet behind its stone walls, generations were shaped by slave trade and smuggling routes. Medellin sparkles with innovation, murals, and culture, but its hills still remember the sounds of sirens and gunfire. Even nature seems to whisper warnings. Rivers that once carried bodies now glow with tourists and LED-lit canoes. It's this contradiction that defines Colombia, a country that welcomes you with music, warmth, and rhythm, but one that never forgets what it has endured. Locals smile easily, but their eyes carry history. The joy is real. So is the caution. For decades, Colombia was reduced to a headline war: cocaine, kidnappings. That image has faded, but never fully vanished. Ask anyone and they'll say, "It's better now, but still be careful." That phrase echoes like a prayer. On buses, in bars, at family tables. It's not fear, it's a habit. A survival instinct passed down like a family recipe. Because here, even the most stunning views come with a warning. And every beautiful place holds a story that didn't begin in peace. Number 9. In Colombia, Pablo Escobar is both ghost and god. His name is etched into everything from whispered stories to t-shirts sold in Medellin. He was killed decades ago, but his shadow still looms, long and heavy. You won't find statues of him, but you will find tourists lining up to visit the buildings he once ruled from. His old neighborhood, once feared, now offers guided tours. Some locals resent this. Others make a living from it. Because here, narco culture didn't end at simply change clothes. Today, young men in poor barrios imitate the style of drug lords. Motorbikes, gold chains, flashy sneakers, reggaeton blasting from windows. Narco corridos, songs that glorify cartel life, are played at parties, even family gatherings. It's not just about crime, it's about control, visibility, respect. And while the big cartels shattered, the cocaine routes never closed. Coca still grows in the shadows. The trade continues faster, quieter, more fragmented. Violence hasn't disappeared. It just learned how to whisper. This isn't romance, it's survival. A generation born in chaos learned to wear its scars as symbols. And while politicians speak of peace and progress, entire regions still speak the old language where fear builds fame, and silence is the safest answer. Number 8. In cities like Cartagena, Medellin, and Santa Marta, desire is currency. Women in heels linger near hotel lobbies. Men lean in close at salsa bars. The dance isn't always for love often, it's for rent, medicine, or a child's school fees. Sex tourism in Colombia isn't hidden. It's dressed in sequins, poured into rum, and lit by neon. It wears perfume and speaks multiple languages. For many, this industry isn't about exploitation, it's about escape. In a country with few options, beauty becomes bargaining power. Some women use dating apps to find foreign clients. Others wait outside upscale bars or luxury casinos. Many are mothers, students, daughters supporting entire families. They adapt fast. They speak French, German, English, whatever it takes to shrink the gap between survival and hunger. But this isn't a one-way transaction. Foreign men, many older, come chasing warmth, connection, or fantasy. They find it here, wrapped in rhythm and conversation. Some leave with memories. Some stay. Some fall in love. Yet behind this world of pleasure lies a darker edge. Legal protections are fragile, violence is real, and the same charm that draws tourists can become a trap. Here, seduction isn't always a choice. It's strategy. It's a shield. It's not about sin. It's about surviving another day. Number 7. Colombia kneels before saints, but also dances with spirits. In this country, Catholicism is everywhere, but it rarely stands alone. Churches sit beside candlelit shrines. Crosses hang next to herbs and beads. The sacred mixes with the supernatural. On Sundays, families pack into churches. Children are baptized. Bread is broken. But just a street away, you might find a curandero, a traditional healer offering blessings, protection, spells, or love potions. Here, faith is flexible. God is powerful. But so are the ancestors, the jungle, and the dead. Syncretism runs deep. Catholic saints are prayed to with the same reverence once given to indigenous deities. The Virgin Mary shares space with Pachamama. Even in cities, superstition thrives. People carry red ribbons to ward off envy. Salt is thrown behind shoulders, and dreams are decoded like prophecy. This blend isn't seen as contradiction, it's insurance, a divine backup plan. In a land where institutions have often failed, people trust rituals more than rules. In Colombia, belief isn't private, it's public. Shrines sit in taxis, candles burn in storefronts. Faith lives in the street, in the music, in whispered prayers over steaming soup. It's not just religion, it's resistance. A way to keep hope alive even when everything else is uncertain. Number 6. On the maps, Colombia looks unified. But on the ground, the lines are blurry. There are places the police don't go, roads where cell signals die, villages where another flag flies unofficial but obeyed. The legacy of civil war still lingers in pockets of the country. Armed groups, some political, others purely criminal control territory, smuggle goods and impose their own justice. In these zones, law is a matter of who holds the rifle. Travelers rarely see this. Tourists are protected, routes are secured, but Colombians know the codes. What roads to avoid after dark, what towns ask no questions, what uniforms not to trust. Even in cities, invisible borders exist. A wrong turn in Medellin can still lead into the wrong neighborhood, not because of danger, but because of rules. Territories aren't marked on signs, but everyone knows where they begin. These divisions aren't always violent, but they are real, and they shape lives. In some areas, children grow up under community militias. In others, extortion is part of doing business. The war officially ended. But peace isn't just a treaty, it's a process. And in many corners of Colombia, that process is still unfinished. The lines may be invisible, but everyone knows where they are. Number 5. In Colombia, beauty is more than admired, it's expected. Pageants aren't just competitions, they're national events. The Queen of Cartagena is crowned like royalty. Local girls grow up watching, dreaming, training. This obsession runs deep. Cosmetic surgery is common and openly discussed. Breast implants, liposuction, rhinoplasty, even teenage girls speak about procedures as casually as haircuts. Clinics offer payment plans, billboards advertise promotions. Natural beauty is rarely the goal perfection is. It's not just vanity. In a country where appearance can open doors, beauty becomes a tool. Contest winners go on to TV careers, marry into power, or start businesses. For many, it's the most reliable way to social mobility. But this pressure cuts both ways. In some communities, girls are gifted surgeries for their 15th birthdays. Social media filters blur the line between aspiration and identity. What was once cultural pride now flirts with obsession. Still, pageants unite neighborhoods. Entire cities celebrate their local contestants. It's not just a show, it's heritage, a spectacle of hope, pride, and transformation. In Colombia, beauty isn't passive, it's curated, invested in, and pursued with discipline. Behind every perfect smile is a story not of luck, but of labor. Because here, looking good isn't just a compliment, it's a currency. Number 4. Colombia doesn't sleep, it dances. From Bogota's rooftops to Medellin's alleys, the party never really stops, it just changes location. Clubs open at midnight, the real crowd shows up at 2, and if the police shut it down, someone moves the speakers and the night begins again. This isn't just celebration, it's defiance. A country that's buried too many has learned to live loudly. Music isn't background noise, it's a declaration. Salsa, reggaeton, champera, each beat pulses with history, joy, and pain. In working-class barrios, entire blocks transform into open-air dance floors. Strangers share drinks, move together, and forget for a moment how hard the day was. It's community, ritual, escape. In wealthier zones, rooftop lounges blur with flashing lights and Instagram filters. The rhythm is the same, only the dress code changes. But this joy has depth. It's not frivolous, it's survival. When the future feels uncertain, the present becomes sacred. Every Friday could be the last. Every beat could be a prayer. Alcohol flows, conversations loosen. Romance begins and ends in a single night. The rules are few, the energy relentless. In Colombia, the party isn't just for fun, it's a reminder that life, no matter how fragile, is still here, still burning, still dancing. Number 3. Colombians are known for their warmth. The greetings are affectionate, the hospitality immediate. Smiles are offered like gifts unasked but freely given. But behind this charm lies something more complex: survival. In a country shaped by conflict, inequality, and distrust of institutions, kindness became a strategy. Smiles de-escalate, laughter distracts, politeness creates space. People learn early how to read a room, shift the mood, and stay safe through likability. This isn't manipulation, it's cultural muscle memory. Taxi drivers joke while dodging potholes. Street vendors chat like friends before selling. Even when danger is close, tension is smoothed with a compliment or a joke. For tourists, it feels like magic. The country welcomes you with open arms. But for locals, this social grace has always been about more than being liked. It's about being allowed to move, to work, to live, without drawing the wrong kind of attention. That's why smiles here are layered. They say, "I see you," but also, "Don't worry," and sometimes, "Let's not talk about it." In Colombia, survival isn't always about fighting. Sometimes it's about disarming the world with a joke and a smile. Number 2. Colombia is a country of juxtapositions. Gated high-rises loom beside makeshift shacks. Luxury malls stand across from crumbling colonial buildings. One side of a street boasts imported wine across the road. A child sells gum for coins. In Bogota, executives ride private helicopters to work while street kids beg below. In Medellin, digital nomads sip lattes beside locals who still remember food shortages. The inequality isn't hidden, it's structural, geographic, and daily. Technology is widespread. Smartphones, delivery apps, QR codes, they're everywhere. But many neighborhoods lack reliable water, sewage, or electricity. One home has fiber optic internet, the next uses candles at night. These contrasts aren't just economic, they're emotional. Colombians navigate between hope and hardship every day. They celebrate wins that others take for granted: a stable paycheck, an honest landlord, a week without fear. Yet, this friction fuels creativity. Street art, music, and fashion emerge from these overlapping worlds. People build, hustle, adapt. They don't wait for systems to fix the gaps, they fill them themselves. In Colombia, nothing is uniform. Everything is side by side: wealth and poverty, fear and celebration, progress and neglect. And this blend doesn't divide, it defines. The country isn't one thing, it's all of them, at once. Number 1. Colombia defies conclusion. It's not one story, it's 1,000 at war and in love with each other. A place where contradictions don't clash, they coexist. Where beauty is never just pretty, and danger is never just dark. Travelers try to define it. They use words like vibrant, dangerous, underrated, but none of them hold, because just when you think you understand Colombia, it shifts. A new rhythm, a new rule, a new truth that erases the one before. This is a land of magical realism, not just in literature, but in life, where real violence lives next to real kindness, where the past bleeds into the future, where ghosts walk among salsa dancers and tragedies turn into festivals. Colombia doesn't explain itself. It doesn't soften its edges or translate its contradictions. It asks you to sit with the discomfort, to listen without fixing, to witness without judging. It's not a country for easy answers. It's a country that teaches you how to live with complexity, to accept beauty that's earned, not gifted, and to recognize that some places aren't meant to be solved, they're meant to be felt. Colombia will break your expectations, and maybe that's the point, because in doing so, it might just break something open in you too. Some countries entertain you. Colombia challenges you. It doesn't ask for your approval, only your attention. If this story made you feel something, subscribe for more truths the travel guides won't tell you. Because the world is far stranger and far more human than it seems.